Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. This lecture is from the chapter Protection, Support and Movement. We will study animal form and function in a comparative perspective. Course contents of this chapter include protection, support and movement. The topic of today's lecture is terrestrial locomotion in invertebrates, that is jumping. Some insects can jump, for example fleas, grasshoppers and leafhoppers. Most often jumping is an escape reaction. The animals which exhibit jump can also walk or fly. To jump, an insect must exert a force against the ground sufficient to impart a takeoff velocity greater than its weight. Here this is the diagram of a jump of a flea, and here you see that when the flea is in the resting position, here in this figure A. So first of all have a look on the leg of the flea, and this leg has this part which is named as femur, and here it is the tibia. So in this figure A, when the flea is in the resting position, the femur of the leg is raised. Here this femur is indicated with the help of this black arrow. So when the flea is in resting position, the femur of the leg is raised. The joints are locked. Here you see the joints are locked, and energy is stored in the deformed elastin protein, which is named deformed elastic protein, which is named as animal rubber or resilin of the cuticle. So let's recall what is cuticle. Here you see this is the photo of a flea, and this picture actually indicates the location of the fluorescent resilin pad in the legs of flea. Here you see that this is the fluorescent resilin pad which is present in the legs of the flea. Fleas are known to be able to jump over 150 times the length of their body, and resilin plays a key role in their jumping, as it is compressed and then releases the energy extremely efficiently to allow the flea to jump. The energy stored up from the leg muscles compression is released from resilin within 1 millisecond. So resilin actually stores energy on compression and then releases the energy to produce movement. Here in this figure B, this flea is started to jump, or it starts itself to jump. So as a flea begins to jump, the relaxation of muscles unlock the joint. Here you see that the relaxation of the muscles unlocks the joint. So in this figure C, when this flea actually takes off for the jump, so the force exerted against the ground by tibia gives the flea a specific velocity that determines the height of the jump. The jump is the result of the explosive release of the energy stored in the resilin of the cuticle. Long legs increases the mechanical advantage of the leg extensor muscle. That is why the insects that jump have relatively long legs. For example, here you see this is the leg of a grasshopper, and it has the extensor muscles and the flexor muscles. And this is the photo of a grasshopper in the where it is in the early stages, where the grasshopper is in the early stages of a jump. Here you see the leg is fully flexed and it is prepared for a jump. So when the flexor muscles are relaxed, here you see the flexor muscles relax, energy stored in the tendon and extensor muscle is extended to propel the insect into the air. So the actually the back leg is much longer than the others to aid in jumping. Long legs increases the distance over which the jumper can push on the ground. The mechanical strength of the insect cuticle acts as a lever. Levers can be used so that a small force can move much bigger force. This is called mechanical advantage. In animals, bones act as lever, joints as pivot, and muscles provide the force to move loads. Grasshopper legs are third class levers. Third class levers have effort force from the muscles in the middle of the lever. Here you see. The two main muscles inside the extensor tibiae muscles which contract to extend the legs, and the flexor tibiae muscle which contract to flex the leg. These muscles pull on tendons which are attached to the tibia on either side of the joint, pivot. Here the effort force is actually provided by the contraction of muscles. The fulcrum is the joint, and resistance would be provided by whatever weight is being lifted. In this photo here, this grasshopper is in the resting position, and here you see the flexor muscles are contracted, and this joint is flexed to about 40 degrees. So here you see that when the flexor muscles are relaxed, and here you see the extensor muscles are contracted. So the joint is extensor muscles are contracted and flexor muscles are relaxed, and here you see the joint is extended to about 180 degrees. We can say that the jump of a grasshopper can be divided into 3 steps. The first one is here is the initial flexion, where the contraction of the flexor tibiae muscles. The full flexion is an essential prerequisite for jumping. Next is the co-contraction, where the flexor and the extensor tibiae muscles are contracted simultaneously. And next is the trigger relaxation of flexor, where the leg extension is triggered by a sudden relaxation of the flexor tibiae muscle. The tibial extension is not caused directly by contraction of the extensor muscle, since this takes place before the jump. So it is driven by the expansion of the spring. Here you see the jump of a grasshopper, and here you see how the long legs aid in the jump of this animal. Summary of today's lecture. So today's lecture was on the topic terrestrial locomotion in invertebrates, that is jumping. To jump, an insect must exert a force against the ground sufficient to impart a takeoff velocity greater than its weight. Anatomical structures helpful in jumping include long legs and resilin. Long legs increase the mechanical advantage of the leg extensor muscles. Therefore, insects that jump have relatively long legs. Resilin, the jump is the result of explosive release of energy stored in the resilin of cuticle. Examples of invertebrates that exhibit jump include fleas, grasshoppers, and leafhoppers. So this was all about today's lecture. I hope you well understood this topic.